As a child, I was surrounded by visual artists, performing artists, musicians, dancers, theater people. My father was with the orchestra, and I had this dream from childhood that someday I'd do something, I didn't know what, but somehow I'd be involved artistically with the Metropolitan Opera. I went to Rhode Island, studied painting at Rhode Island School of Design, then moved to New York for a year, and then studied further in Italy for 3 years, and then went back to New York and began painting stage scenery. And I worked there for a good part of my professional career. When I first moved to Athens, I went into the Classic Center, into the theater, and I was struck by how bare it was, how bare the lobby was. Here's this huge, monumental space, and there's nothing in it to embellish it. I knew that I wanted to do something in the theater. I wasn't exactly sure what was going to be appropriate. I felt like this would be a way of leaving something to the city. I had begun doing murals, large murals by commission, and I thought it would be nice to do something in Athens because everything else I'm doing out of town. I have no mark on the city where I live. And then a few years later, I met Paul Kramer and I showed him my portfolio and said, I would really like to do some work in the lobby of the theater for you.
I did a little research privately on Jill and found out that she was actually the set designer at the Metropolitan Opera. And I was super impressed. I understood how smart she was, how much research she put into every piece of work she did, and it just made me want her work in our building that much more.
I actually did some drawings and met with Elizabeth and Paul to give them a pitch for what I was proposing.
We brought it to the board and they instantly fell in love with the idea. She worked hand in glove with them to decide what the subject matter would be. She did all the research to find out exactly what little pieces should go into the piece.
I based the composition on a collage of images from one specific palace in Rome and one specific palace in Urbino. Initially, I do sketches, which then become more finished drawings in scale. I take the drawings that I have done, I hand them over to Janine. Janine takes my sketches and makes full-scale drawings from them. And the full-scale drawings are then transferred on the prepared canvas and then drawn again. And that way the actual sketch is established exactly where it needs to go.
I thought she really did nail it. I mean, she had every one of those words that I've ever heard anyone describe Athens as, and she really brought it to life in a wonderful way. You're going to see way more detail in this mural than you would ever expect there to be in something this size. But that's Jill. That's just how good she really is.
Thanks to Elizabeth and to Paul and to the Classic Center for endorsing this and being such wonderful patrons and supporting what I'm doing for them and for the city. Special thanks to Janine, who has been a wonderful assistant and partner in this whole process. She's been unbelievably patient and focused and a quick learner and a fine artist.
You know, we're 25 years old, so this piece is so significant now as it really is helping us to celebrate our 25th anniversary of opening the doors to the theater. And I think the outcome is just fantastic.